two. Hey yo, what is going on, everybody? Once again, you are now tuned into Reishi Radio, the soulless podcast of all time for Bleach Rebirth the Souls, and you know what it do, you know what it be. It be me, Jig, and that boy Lee. The same old young black bulls here to black the bleach into you. I know what I'm saying. But we're all happy with the vibes because finally we got not one, but a second guest on the show. Because today we are joined by the homie Sheridan. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. Decided to talk about some bleach stuff because it's getting a little hot in here, if you ask me.
Oh, I know that's right.
Mortal fire. Mortal. Because in my native tongue, that means fire. And it's ironic how he says mortal in his name. Because that boy trailer was hot, but also wasn't. But we'll get into more of that later. Because yes, today's character is Shigekuni Genuryusa Yama-MOTO. Y'all, what you think about this trailer? And today I think I'll start with Lee before I get our guest opinion. Because I know you got your opinions about this, huh, Lee?
Yes, I think I don't want to put a wet blanket over this nice warm campfire, but the trailer was very, very, very awesome. But I honestly was underwhelmed after getting Aizen last week and seeing how crazy he was. I'm not going to lie to you.
Right. I mean, Aizen kind of did steal the show.
I mean, that's just the nature of Aizen in general.
Literally, bro. Like he better at everything, better looking, better sounding, better fighting, literally everything. So I'm like, dang, I feel like this is fire in its own right, and I just need to stop comparing it to what I saw last week, you know?
Maybe they should have started with
That's
Yamaji.
fair.
Yeah. It's rough. Everybody thought at least if they dropped the trailers on the what's the name? Ukiura Bankai Ichigo type where two at once, at least you could probably take a little bit of his heat. Not away from him, but like share it. Because now everybody's like, oh,
Absolutely.
we're back to regular trailers now.
Exactly. Yeah. Like say Yama-MOTO was like the opener for the Aizen stuff, and it's like, but I do think that some people were saying that Yama-MOTO was going to be the quote unquote direct counter to Aizen. So seeing
Right.
his kit a little bit, I do feel like that is in play a little bit. So I do see what they were saying with that, and I do honestly see what Bandai Namco was going for because that trailer was still fire. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the trailer. It was still fire.
Mortal. And it had its merits to it on the fairness of the very short contrast between the two characters. I don't know if y'all saw it.
Yeah.
They're both powerhouses. If y'all agree.
They are both
Absolutely.
powerhouses, and they both slowly walk towards you before just bashing your face in.
Exactly.
They're
That
just
Michael Myers shit. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yep.
horror Jason Voorhees. They're
Oh
just
man.
walking there menacingly. The
Something like
beautiful
that.
the beautiful contrast of what I noticed, the first thing that popped into my head is immediately thinking that okay, Aizen's already a technical, tricky type. He's got his meter powerhouse, which they didn't even show
Mhm.
that special condition. So it's not too special other than like the more you
Mhm.
fight, the more it rises. Then the moment
Right.
I saw Old Man Yama, I was like, okay, we're splitting them. Aizen is a defensive powerhouse who does nothing but take hits and counterattacks the moment he feels like it. And Yamaji is an offensive powerhouse.
Mm.
And I'm willing to get into more of that now. How about we start with we didn't get a signature move. We did get his what do you call it? Hellfire
Special
state.
condition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hellfire state. What y'all
Yeah.
think about that?
So I think that's really interesting because it's basically an overheat mechanic, which we've seen a couple of other characters have
Mm.
similar meters and bars where it's like you max it out and you reach like a extra state or whatever.
Mm,
Yama's is interesting in that it functions similar to I think it's Alukiura's use of his Sero.
yeah.
So
Right.
like when you
Yeah.
reach
Yeah. That's
that
a good point.
Yeah, it's like you build up the Inferno gauge, which causes your attacks to get stronger over time, and then when you max it out into the Hellfire state, then automatically your health starts depleting until you use the gauge. So
Yeah.
my
Right.
expectation is that either means you have to deplete it entirely, or it's just bring it down with 1 or 2 attacks. I hope it's not just the 1 or 2 attacks though. But I do find it interesting how it synergizes with his spiritual pressure moves 1 and 2 that we did get.
Yeah.
We can go into more detail on like the actual breakdowns of the moves here in a few minutes, but I like as the way the gauge works, I like it. I think it's really good. It encourages. I disagree that he's a defensive character. I think that's Aizen. Aizen is
No,
more
I
of
said
the
Aizen
pick
was
your
Yeah,
offensive
opportunity.
one.
Oh, you
that's
said
what he was
Aizen.
saying was
Okay,
Yeah.
Eisen.
sorry, I
Yeah.
misheard
Yep.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he is the exact reverse of Aizen, where it's you want to be pressuring, you want to be attacking, and continually
Right.
trying to do damage because you build up that Inferno gauge, and
Mm,
then you burn it off as you use your quick attacks.
exactly, because they did
Right.
say his special 2 was the one that you instantly burn off most of the Hellfire meter, so that it's not pipping
Yes,
away at your health. And I'm guessing
exactly.
since they already said the special, what
Mm.
the signature move like takes away slowly. I don't know. We will saw.
So they said that you accumulate the gauge with the signature move and your flash attacks, which
Hmm.
They
I
also
don't
said
know what a flash
etc.
attack
So,
is. I'm very
but they,
frustrated by
bro, they
this.
Yeah,
keep
we
throwing that out like they told us what it is,
like what
right?
is a
Yeah.
flash attack? They didn't even tell us the buttons for him yet. We got lucky
No,
knowing
So
what a
like,
few of them.
is it like? Because I'm like, is a flash attack literally just like you follow up, or I'm sorry, the follow up attack when you use a flash step, or like a tilt move? Like, what is it?
I'm
It can't.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm like trying to right now. I'm literally pulling up our FAQ that I
It
just
can't be
Yeah.
like a
came up.
flash attack follow up because there's already a flash attack follow up that's very different. Because from the few people we know who have like a special flash attack that's like normal Ichigo, Kisuke, and I think that's it. There are very few others we've barely even seen any of their
Yeah.
quote unquote flash attacks. But it's probably got to be something like a tilt skill that you can use whenever you want
Yeah.
because it's an extra option
Right.
that's away from the flash attack.
Right.
Hmm.
And if it's the one we saw
Yeah.
in the game, it's like the move he used in the first few seconds that looks very similar to Ichigo's, where it's like a shoulder, like stiff arm. Watch out, little bitch.
Oh, sorry. Flash attacks are the heavy attacks. That's what they are.
Oh, right.
The
My
spec.
fault. The
Yeah.
special flash attacks is
It's
what I'm talking
this.
about.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
special flash attacks. I wonder if those are something separate, and that's probably the
Yeah.
Is it a
charge up
heavy
smash.
attack with EX meter in it, or like
No, no, no,
like
no,
the
no, no, no,
I
enhanced?
no.
think I
We
think
talking
it's
about special or
the red
normal?
aura.
What?
You know the red aura attacks?
No, that's different.
The red or
That's different. That's like a key cone
That's a
spinning move. It's
charge.
like a focus attack, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah. The special flash attacks are unique
yeah.
to each character, but they haven't shown
Right.
all of them. They're like selective with it. Like you know how these trailers just show like
Right. So
one or two
does
moves? What?
right. Does every character have a special flash attack, or is it literally just the ones that we get shown a couple of the special flash attacks of that have them?
I think it's a few characters. Because
Okay.
if
I
Okay.
more
think
of them
every
had it,
character has them.
ah, okay. Because we've yet
Yeah,
to
I,
You
see
said
I
you think
think
other.
every character has them?
I'm pretty sure that every character has them, and I think special flash attack. Like I'm sorry that I said that like just straight up because I realized I got words mixed up. This is my problem with the translations is they use too many of the same
Yes.
words,
Yeah, they
and
do.
so
Yep.
it's
And
like
different. Yep.
ADHD mixes stuff up, which is awesome.
We'll come up with our own notation later. We'll fix everything.
Oh,
With our own notation later for
absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. Like the shiesty
Right.
gauge.
The shiesty
Yeah.
gauge,
So
bro. It's gonna be fun in casting. Go ahead.
exactly. Yeah. Rewinding it just a little bit, the Inferno gauge accumulates by activating flash attacks and signature moves. So that means when you use your heavy attacks and you use your signature move, so that implies to me that the signature move is going to be another attack based thing. Maybe it's like a fireball or just a flame sword or something of that nature.
Right.
That's what will build up your Inferno gauge. And then when you use your regular quick attacks, that's going to be what burns that gauge away and causes
And they're
damage.
enhanced, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they are enhanced with extra damage. So it's
Hellfire
basically
Right.
state.
hit
Okay.
heavy, build up your gauge, and then you're able to just hit light multiple times with heavier hits than you would normally.
Right.
And
What do you think they mean when they say etc. here? Because like it says the flash attack and signature move, etc. So like, do you think there's more that will
Ah,
build this up?
It might be saying everything but your quick attack.
yeah.
So like
Okay. Yeah,
anytime
that's
you use an
probably. Yeah, you're
attack that's
right.
not your quick attack, then
If
you're
you press
building up
and
square,
that
damage.
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you press
So
square, you lose it. You press any other button that doesn't outright state it uses the meter, then you're going to build the
Precisely,
meter.
yeah,
because it,
that's
it
the
lives
safest
up
way to
it
approach it.
lives up to his like high risk, high reward type of thing. Because heavy attacks
Right.
and everything of that nature to specials are probably going to be like hella unsafe. Them things do not look like they cannot be punished. And if you're willing to make that extent instead of going for like a quick attack in somebody's face, then you're probably going to get rewarded for it for with extra damage, which is the cash out of the
Right.
Hellfire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hellfire stage is being extra. It's basically you're so hot that
It's
you hurt yourself while you're
it's
doing it.
getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
Pretty much.
I am getting so hot. I'm gonna take away. He literally does that at the end of the trailer. He's Nelly.
He does. Yeah.
Can
No,
I say that?
yeah. Yeah.
We're just giving everybody the free references that we're gonna have quoted for years to come for this game. Look at
He's
us.
literally
Yeah.
Nelly. Yeah. He's
Who would have
Nelly. Yeah.
thought? Not me.
If Endeavor and Nelly did the fusion dance, they'd turn into Genryusai
That is
Yamamoto
exactly what it
himself.
is.
Exactly.
Old man, same fire, mustache on fire and everything. I do like I can't help but feel like it's another Guilty Gear reference. Hellfire, it's gotta be. Suzuki-san got that's gotta be his favorite game. Because I think Hellfire in Exerd was like similar to it's like Genryusai's version is like a reverse of what it was in Exerd. It was like Rage Drive where you if you're below like 25%, your supers did extra damage. Whereas Blood was
Mm.
like, it's not over yet. And now he's doing the reverse where he's able to cash out. And now he's calling the special one Shiranui like my Shiranui of the Shiranui fire. This cannot be a fucking coincidence. It
There are
can't
no
be.
coincidences when it comes to Kubo.
Fighting games here and there. I thought he said his favorite was Tekken. That damn
Yeah,
wannabe tomboy. That one time.
you are not putting down my girl Tatsuki.
That girl.
That best girl.
You are not putting her down in the slightest. No,
That's
no,
her
no, no, no,
name.
no, no.
Oh. Okay. They did play Tekken that one time, but I see that they're putting love
They
into
do.
King of
It's
Fighters.
that's like the first chapter of the Fullbring arc. They reference Tekken.
Yeah. It's just and this okay, so that was the tunnel move, which is basically a direct one. Would it be
Mhm.
easy to sidestep? If special one you can sidestep, special two is a ring of fire. How do you dodge that?
So from like just watching the clips of the move, my guess is that the closer you are to Yama-MOTO, if you see him activate it, you have a better chance of sidestepping because it looks like
Right.
it's a cone. So
Right,
you have
like
small hitbox to the
Byakuya.
front and similar to Byakuya. There's a lot of folks who are saying that his fire is smaller than Byakuya's Senbon Zakura, and it's like they're not entirely wrong, but I wonder if part of that is due to maybe your flames get bigger as your gauge increases. So
Right.
I don't want to say that Yama's being shown as inadequate compared to Byakuya right now, but
Yeah, we haven't
I
seen the
mean, in
difference
terms
between
of. Go ahead.
nah, your turn.
Okay, I was saying in terms of zoning, he may. I don't want to use the word inadequate because it's literally not the same. Like I don't even think the abilities are comparable in just their execution. But like in terms of zoning, he might not be as good as
Mm.
Byakuya. But I think
Mm.
that if you're going to be getting caught by these moves, you would rather get caught by Byakuya's than you would Yamamoto's. That's the
I
only way
mean
I can really put it.
would you? Because Yamamoto seems like he holds down the mid range, whereas Byakuya can hold down any. You know,
I'd
I've
say
s-
Yamamoto is much more close mid range. Yamamoto, he despises the idea of ranged. Just
Yeah,
looking
the
at it,
same way.
he does
Not
not
absolutely,
like. He finds it disrespectful for you to fight him from a distance.
that's
exactly.
why it's all close. That's his pride. That's canon right there.
He's like,
Yep.
we're doing this face to face. I'm gonna give you boys a whooping.
It's not like
It's like you
Aizen
got me
where
out here. You got my Shikai out. I gotta show it to
mm,
y'all. Come on, get up here.
the Shikai's dangling out. You seeing it dead in
Yep.
my face. You gonna hold these. It's funny how both of them also despise range in the same way, but the one difference is, well, seemingly they both have slow speed, but Yama, expressing that he's somewhat slower. They said slow
Right.
agility.
Right. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
they made a comment about his slow speed with Aizen's character profile or not, but like here they're letting us know, like, no, this guy he's not, no, he's not speedy at all. Like,
Mhm.
he's not nimble. He's going to stand there and swing, maybe move forward. Like, it's gonna be real caveman brain mobility with him. Like, that's
Right.
that's how I was taking it.
And I was basing mine more off his walk cycle to begin with. Like Aizen's and Yama-MOTO's walk cycle is both very calm and very
Mhm.
relaxed approaching the
Right.
opponent.
Mm.
And I just they like you said they mentioned Yama-MOTO being slower, so I do think he's gonna be a slow character. I do think Aizen will get faster over the course of the match. I
Maybe in the
think they even
second stage,
specifically
yeah.
state they do say his second state is faster and longer ranged, just in order to compensate for the lack of his uh Hogyoku level meter being missing during that point in the fight.
Right. So he won't be as hard hitting when he's in that form. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
said they
so he won't have
sacrificed
access
damage.
to his
That's right.
specials and stuff. But I'm just I really I think I like Yama's concept is the best way to describe it. Like I like what they're going
Right.
for with him, where it's like he's ramping power that then burns it off over time. And then you just have easy ways to enter that extra damage state. Like I expect we'll see a lot of combinations of like you use spiritual pressure move 1, then immediately move into spiritual pressure move 2, so that you get the Natagiri instead of the Taimatsu off
Mm.
Mm,
because you're already in Hellfire state.
right.
So you've got that extra damage, then you just follow it up with some sort of combo or whatever.
Yo, the combo potential for those nerds who make the combo videos for the internet is gonna be crazy.
It's gonna
Cause
be
you're
Shout
exciting.
basically
out to
shout out to the
shout
homies.
out to them. Yeah,
Yeah, shout out to
shout out to
them.
anybody that does that, bro. Right? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's insane. Seeing those videos are I'm just like that y'all are what make fighting game communities amazing. Like that's exactly what I
Hmm.
want to see.
Hey, Game Breaker God, do your thing the moment this game come out, bro. So what they ain't got jumping. I've seen you do stuff with God of War. This is no excuse. Because I can already imagine switching in between states, the Ring of Fire. Because that ring is active for a minute. And I'm guessing if you're in Hellfire, that thing got extra hit stun so you can exit like recovery. All right, let me
Mm,
hit the special one. Now I want to go into heavy. Then I put another ring there. Then I put another ring. You see where I'm going with this? You go
yeah,
dummy
that's
again,
crazy.
Musa. Okay, hot take. Bro seems hella similar to if we're gonna throw out characters who every character is similar to. Bro gives me like Gold Lewis vibes. I don't know. I don't know what's with them. I don't know if it's the damage he does, or like how oppressive he is, or like how tanky the boy be moving in the same way. Even though he's missing in this behemoth typhoon, it's am I the only one? Bro's just a second tank.
Mm, he might be. I do think that when we get his stats out, whenever they finally post those to the website, it's going to show him as a higher toughness character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Shikai didn't
I
have
can sort of see it. I mean, they do both have white hair or gray beards. Sorry, white beards.
similar old and
One
white
has hair,
beards.
the other one doesn't.
The bald one.
Hmm.
And the Shikai, even though it doesn't have too much different visually when you pop Awakening, I mean, I guess you'll feel it, pause more than you actually see it. It could work.
Yeah, because it looks like it's more so a move set change than an immediate like visual representation that he's about to whoop your ass. Like, because it's I'm pretty sure his attacks change to where because somebody in the Discord said it, the attacks change to where his spiritual pressure techniques are his normal attacks now
Hmm.
when he's in his awakening.
It's something like that. If you look at the sword, I think the best visual representation of it is no, because I'm
Yeah,
looking at the
'cause
video right
yeah,
now.
it's always on fire. I thought it was gonna be
It's
like
always on
more
Yeah.
on
fire.
fire.
I think it's got a bigger sweep of flame or a more distinguished sweep of flame whenever he swings the sword. I was checking to see if maybe like it turns into something similar to his bankai, but obviously they wouldn't do that
I'm,
until they
Right.
give us
I
Thousand
guess
Year
the
Flood
best way to
Origin.
know is, well, the way we always do in fighting games, just peep at the other guy's meter. It's right there. It's in
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Right.
Uh, There's that, and then I think you'll also have like the white glow that every awakening character has. Like you've got that smoke coming off all of the
Right.
characters when they go into their awakened state. So
Because
while
it's
it
the
may not
little
be
things.
exactly, it may not be visually representative because essentially
Yeah, I
his
do see
awakening,
that. Yep.
Yeah,
it's
no.
more of like a power boost, which
Right.
that's an interesting thing to point out because of how simplistic his awakening is. Because so far, all of the awakenings have had like a drastic change in the
Yeah.
I mean,
characters.
Kenpachi's was kind of similar as well, right?
It is. Kenpachi's is similar, but he also takes his eye patch off. He gets the
Right.
golden
Yeah.
aura that's more glowing
Right.
off him and burning around him.
And
I
if you peep,
think
what's her name, Rukia, the ribbon on her sword is flowing more, or it appears
Yeah.
when
That's
she's
well,
true.
awakened.
she doesn't have Shikai before her awakening. So when she opens up with Sode, when she goes into Shikai with Sode no Shiraiki, that's
Yeah,
when you
that's
actually
what
have the
that's
It
what I
ribbon.
mean.
appears.
The ribbon
Yeah,
appears when she pops Shikai, which is the awakening.
exactly. So you get a change to her sword and things of that nature. So the thing that I think is interesting about Yama's is if we have a character who doesn't really visually change too much, it means that
Mhm.
Tamsoft is not afraid to have characters get an awakening that won't physically change the character in a drastic manner if
Orihime.
they can showcase it other ways.
Okay.
Orihime is a good example of this. No, that's actually really fair. Orihime would be a good example of this. Maybe she improves the power of her Shunrika. Or you could have a character like Kukaku if they were to put her in the game, where
Mm.
when she goes into her awakening, maybe she doesn't physically change, but she gets the glowing white aura, so now she actually has a we have a model of what that might look like, quote unquote, with Yama-MOTO.
Right.
And so for me, that just kind of encourages me in the sense of like, oh, okay, so they're not afraid to not go crazy with
Right.
the visual
Right.
changes, which means you can have less known characters. Like everyone's saying Jidanbo's not playable. I refuse to believe that
We shall see.
until like they straight up say he's a story only character. Even the Hollows, I refuse to believe that they're non-playable characters and they're
Once
story
upon a
mode
time,
only
we did
bosses.
think that Grand Fisher was gonna make it in just because he was in the opening trailer.
Exactly. And it's like, I don't know why people are suddenly backing down on that. It's, in my opinion, until the developers say these are story mode only bosses, which is not what the leak said. The leak said they're in the story. It did not say they were story only.
Fine,
I
innocent
refuse
until
to
I'm
believe
more
proven
these are
guilty.
so
playable.
I'm more so coming from the perspective of I'm gonna need to see a character similar to them in build and execution revealed to us before I say that they aren't story only, because it's like even the giant character, quote unquote, that we have with Renji's Bankai is like only on the field for a limited amount of time. So it's not even like a permanent change. You know what I mean? So I'm
True.
like,
Like,
I would need to see a little bit more evidence leaning towards that archetype of a like a just a build, let alone like the character itself being playable. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I see it, maybe I see it. But
keep in
I
mind,
honestly,
they ain't show Yami yet too.
that would probably change my mind. You're right. No, yeah, if we do see him, that would probably change my mind.
There's a
I'm glad
zero.
someone said it, not me.
There's like a 0.1% possibility that no, not that he doesn't make in this game, not that he won't be the grappler character because he will, but
Mhm.
Absolutely,
his resurrection being
exactly,
big man Yami with all the legs and him being like 50 times the size of this little pebble on the
right,
fucking screen. That's
right.
that's gonna happen. That or they do the lazy option like they did with, I can't say too lazy, but it exists. Zero double that Nell did. And they just make that
Mhm.
awakening a super, like when Genryusai takes his shirt off,
Yeah,
doing some super
exactly.
Broly stuff, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm thinking they're gonna do. His like Espada Zero form is gonna probably be his like final Keycone move if they do that route, like where the game ending Keycone move does something special. I think it'll be like that, and he's not gonna go like super duper ginormous and actually be playable. But if he is, I take back everything I say, and every single character we've seen on like all the giant characters on in the story and on the trailers is on the table. It's all on the table.
It's all for a reveal, all for the roster.
Yup.
All the hollows, all the
It's
damn Espada, even the damn
there's a
Privarons.
lot of there's a lot of stuff that they just have not, shown
Yeah.
us, and they've been kind of cagey about, specifically being with roster size. Like, I know that with
Yeah.
Sparking Zero, they announced a roster size of 180 plus characters,
At the
and so we
last
knew that.
minute.
Yeah, well, it's like, yeah, so they revealed extra slots after they
Because
announced,
at
but they
first,
had
the
that huge
first thing they
grid.
said was it's more characters than any other game or something on some Brazilian
Yeah,
website, right? That's what they
Yeah,
said.
exactly.
exactly. And
And
so
they
Yeah.
went on it
speaking
for
of
finesse
which
us all.
is,
Yes.
yeah, you could say that, where it's like each character has very similar moves. Like all of the Super Saiyans, like the first transformations have a specific move set, and then maybe there's like one or two moves that are slightly different, and then you have the fusions that all have the same move set, even though there might be one or two slight variations in how the attack runs. The attack string is the same.
I'll be
At least
completely
that's
honest though.
my experience.
Hearing a roster that big, I did not genuinely expect there to be like a lot of variation between characters unless the game was in development for the entire 15 years in between the last one that came out. But like
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
I
Yeah, but
just
like
don't see them as that type of company to put that type of love into a game with that many characters. So I'm like, I could kind of see why there's so many that are the same, and even just the combo structure itself, I don't like. But like,
yeah,
just
but like
yeah,
they do it every Tenkaichi where they gotta like acknowledge and show the quote unquote love and appreciation for every form that Goku has
right,
been in, Gohan has been in, this, that, and the next thing. Bro, they put kid Chi-Chi, older Chi-Chi, teen Chi-Chi, and every Chi-Chi that they want to if they actually had that
yeah,
kind of time. That's the kind of people that they want.
right.
That's the kind of time. They have three
Mhm.
uh first season versions of Goku, Dragon Ball, early, mid, late. Are you serious? They finna pull the trigger on that, bro. You think they won't, but they will.
Yeah, which is one thing I will say that I like Tamsoft's approach, where it looks like attack strings are similar between characters across the board.
Right.
Right.
Um, and as a result, you have kind of like a standardized move set, which is based, I think, going to be based on archetype of character.
Hmm.
And that's good for a fighting game, especially in terms of balance, because if you know every character has a general output of a certain amount of damage with their
Right.
attack strings based on their archetype, then you can go,
Hmm.
okay, we'll give this character these special moves. Okay, so because he's doing this much extra damage with Ichigo's doing this much extra damage with his spinning Zangetsu above his head, slamming it down attack, let's
Right.
go ahead and pull his damage back a little bit on his base stat. So you have the Guilty Gear stat system going on.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
and and that for me just gives me a lot of encouragement that they're approaching this game in a different way than Sparking Zero did, which was,
Oh, absolutely.
it's like, okay, copy and paste fighters, but with visual differences and visually unique supers that deal certain amounts of damage, and then we'll just, these characters all do this amount of damage because they're supposed to be this power level. These characters do this amount of
Right.
damage because they're supposed to be this power level. These characters break everything because they're supposed to be universal breaking, that sort of thing.
The
And
passion.
it's there's just different design philosophies in the approach, and I prefer Tamsoft's approach to Rebirth of Souls, and I'm liking where it's going.
Yeah, I mean,
So
imagine if they
I'm
went
not
the
as
arena fighter
worried.
route. That
Yeah,
would have been that would have been a
I
nightmare.
I never got that.
I mean,
well, I
they're
wouldn't say it'd have been
taking
an
they're taking like a few
go,
notes from like standard strings because the one thing that they
mhm,
will take is you got to press at least square and triangle in the
Absolutely.
same old
Yeah.
succession roster
yeah,
wide, so it's easier for most people to remember. Because if they did like a Street Fighter model, whereas you have to recognize which buttons are for your anti-air, which buttons are for your sweep, which buttons is great for jumping, because a lot of people's might be the same, but there are very few janky ones that are different. But
yep.
like this one's got to follow one that's an easy to follow and hard to master strategy, but it's fun to jump into. I mean,
It's, yeah, their
I
system
thought there'd be two
is,
Aizens.
yeah,
Yeah. At first, I thought there would be two. Yeah.
I until we see how they do Monster Eisen, I'm still thinking they might have a midway point similar to Shikai Ichigo and Bankai Ichigo, where Shikai Ichigo goes into Bankai and then, Bankai starts in Bankai and holifies with the mask.
Which was
They might do
Hmm.
genius.
something similar for Eisen, where he
That
starts in
was super
Butterfly,
genius.
goes Monster, as like a singular awakening.
We
Uh,
did not see that, so there's a chance that monster version might either be his own DLC character, which is off, or on with it's his final soul
They could have
destruction.
him with Nangai Ichigo. Yeah, they could
I don't
Yeah.
literally
even want to speculate on DLC characters until we know base roster,
who's in
because
the roster.
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
Who
exactly,
here?
because there's so many reasons why they could go 35 characters is the max, and it's like that makes perfect total sense. Then there's some other reasons why I could see them doing 50 characters as their base roster, in which case who are you going to put in as DLC? And then that, so essentially that affects what DLC is going to be there.
right.
It's a
Once we
toss
know
up
final
now.
roster size, it's going to be a toss up. Which, with Jump Festa coming up and the reveal of the character select, they may reveal the character select screen. What
They
would
have
that
Oh,
no
tell
choice.
us?
Even though a lot of them are going to be hidden if they're
They could
smart.
very easily hide the character select screen. They
yeah.
could show us the character intros because we saw those in the live stream, but they could hide the character select part if they want to be sneaky deaky.
We know there are the
Because they
other sneaky
only
ones out there who are going to like try and intricate their way to hacking the system and trying to find out the
Oh,
rest of
for
the characters.
sure.
Reveal from the devs who are on the side. Hey, bro, wouldn't it be crazy if Momo is in the game and just look him dead in the eye? Just looking for any dilations. Like, bro, wouldn't it be crazy if you put two Eisens? Bro, you blinked. There are two Eisens, bro. Put that on Twitter.
right.
I just yeah, there's a lot of speculation going on around this game,
The
which
fact that you're not
I'm
allowed to record is kind of crazy. Not
Remember
crazy,
when
but
they
like
did
it's
that?
going to be.
Remember when they did that for Jujutsu Kaisen?
Gosh.
That was,
that's also just look at the event itself. It's a con. Recording at cons has become kind of taboo because people have abused that privilege.
and they still
What
leaked
do
the
you
footage.
What do you
Still leak the
mean?
footage.
What do you mean?
Specifically in relation to cosplayers. And so they have like picture specific areas where you're allowed to take photos.
Oh
And then you also have,
yeah.
so like they basically want to limit that, and you want to make sure that people taking the photos have consent of the people having their photo taken. And then you
Oh,
also have
okay.
leakers where it's like you've had people sneak cameras into these private presentations. A good example would be, I think, Mass Effect, way back when someone snuck a camera into one of the OG E3 presentations. They did
Mhm.
eventually release that footage, which is really cool. Like the actual
God,
demo, the old
lore.
school demo is weird, but for a Rebirth of Souls, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, look, the game's still under development, we're still working on stuff. This is a build that's 4.5 months old, so it's obviously
Right.
not even close to what it actually looks like.
We
So
know how you internet people get. That's really what's
Yeah.
they're like, we know that you're gonna say this is what the game looks like. It's cooked. It looks terrible. It's garbage. The
Right.
animations are jank, and it's like the
We
build is
still
4
won't
months
listen.
old.
Right.
What
That
y'all
happened with
expect?
Hunter
Made
Hunter Gen
changes
Impact
since
too.
then.
Yeah.
Exactly,
They've been
because it could
changing.
just be it could be the exact same build that Kubo and the voice actors were playing.
There's
Like they may not make a new demo. And if
Right.
that's the case, there's going to be artifacting that we already saw in there, where like the guardrails were flickering in and out of existence. It's stuff like that
Yeah.
is going to be present in the demo because it's not a final build.
People are
Exactly. They're
teleporting and
just trying to
T-posing
give us the
trailers.
privilege.
It's
Yeah.
like, here you get a chance to play, get a chance to see what we're working with, and just FYI, this is 4 months old. We made some tweaks, we made some changes. Maybe we
Right.
updated this build slightly to kind of come closer to being what we're at. But
It's
it's
just
like,
you
again,
know how demo builds works. It's like these are
Yeah,
the
bro.
fully functioning characters. Yeah, we haven't finished
exactly.
it.
It's like you would think that that's what people would say, but I don't know. I feel like modern internet doesn't understand the difference between development build and final build.
Modern
A lot of
internet
people
don't
don't understand a
care.
rough draft, bro. They don't. A lot of
Yeah.
people genuinely
No,
don't understand it.
this is why
Bros
you
be
don't show you rough
speaking.
drafts.
They be speaking on what they don't know like they know it, bro. Everybody's got to be a game
Yeah.
developer somehow. They think you just open
Yeah.
up Unity and Unreal Engine, make a few clicks, and the game pops into existence. And if it don't look pretty, it's shite. If it don't look AAA, it's garbage. If somebody if it's not similar to your favorite game from 10 fucking years ago, then I'm just gonna go back to damn Demon Slayer or some shit. We know how these
Yeah,
go.
There are
Yeah.
some people who do that. Yeah.
There are a lot of people who do that, and it's rough that we still can't skip a damn podcast without talking about all the other arena fighters like Spark and Zero. But what can we
Well,
do?
I
that's
didn't bring
because
it
we
up this
don't have
time.
the
It wasn't
team
on me
yet.
yet.
I guess we'll
You
put it
said,
on
oh,
the
yeah.
guest vibes. Next podcast, we definitely will. Before the end of the year, we'll make it a resolution. Back on this bleach. Wow, that was all that. Yama Jump Festa will be fire. She goes
Hmm.
shirtless in the Soul Destruction. One thing that we do need to touch up on as a podcast is, well, whether or not they play an early build or whatever, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be some intelligent, respectable people willing to spread their opinions on the video game once they get whatever type of early build that they get their hands on the PS5 at Jump Festa, is how are we going to keep our little FGC scene alive if it's actually as good as we perceive it to be? Like long-term Bleach, like Brave Souls, how it's managed to be here for what, 5, 10 years, or Soul Resurrection for like more of those mobile years, because arena fighters don't even last that long. How are we gonna keep players invested, spectators, how hell, sponsors for a damn game like this, which has never been done before, devs and publishers actually looking on at us like, yo, the community is actually kind of fire, no Yama-MOTO. How do we keep this game alive?
Well, I think that
I'm
all
thinking,
depends on the final product.
absolutely, yeah. And if the final product is what we expect it to be, I'm thinking tournaments is the biggest way. You gotta throw tournaments. You gotta have them.
That's what we doing. Remember,
Yeah,
guys, run the
yeah, I
blade.
know that.
April 5th, 2025. Run the blade. April 5th, 2025. We running up the first ever Bleach tournament arc, going long as possible as we start our long running community and bring Bleach to a higher level that's above peak, never seen before. All right, the shilling is over. What else?
Yeah, I think the tournaments are going to be one of the major ways of doing it. It's also going to be interesting to see exactly how the story mode works.
Mm,
So I fully expect to see a lot of people being introduced to the full Bleach story for the first time, because I know that there's a bunch of folks out there who've
Yes.
only seen Thousand of Blood War, and
yeah.
while in some ways I find that a little frustrating personally, because I'm
That's
like, oh, you're
nice.
missing all of this context and you're
That's
getting all
us.
of these reveals, and it's
Yeah.
like they're dope and they're hype, but they also
You don't
feel really weird and
understand
out of
it.
place and
Yeah.
unearned.
Can I
Yeah.
But if
can
like
I can I can I make a confession real quick? I actually
that
learned
depends.
I actually learned all of Naruto's storyline from the Storm games. I did not watch the
That's how
anime or
Dragon
the read
Ball
the
was for
manga.
me, bro. That's how Dragon Ball was for me until I got into the actual like anime when I got older. That's exactly how what you got to get into the game. You got to get into the story however you get into it.
You see
And
that?
that's honestly that because I actually had a comment saying exactly what you just said in they literally just they said I've never watched Bleach before or read the manga, but I'm hoping this game can get me into the story. And I'm like, absolutely. Like at the end of the day, this is promotional material for the
Facts.
content we love so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like if that's what the tipping point for you to get involved in peak is, go ahead, make that plunge and be like, oh shit, I do need to watch this shit now. But I do agree that people that do start with Thousand Year Blood War, I'm like that. I low key can't even have a conversation with you about what we're watching because you don't get it. Like you just don't
You're doing them
understand.
like that. You don't get it, bro. You ain't been with us in the Soul Society since day one. You don't know nothing about Ichigo.
All I'll say is I really hope that the Bleach community, like, because I feel it's mostly welcoming as a whole,
Absolutely.
but there are some
Yeah.
exceptionally defensive voices and
Yeah,
dissenters out
power
there who,
scalers. Huh.
I love power scaling, and so that's a whole other conversation for a whole other
I
episode of the
know
podcast.
I know
We'll
exactly
talk
what you're
about, we can
talking
talk about
about.
that if you want,
Yeah, you
but
see?
that's its own thing, and I have problems with people who power scale Bleach because I think they're doing it wrong.
You see? You
Um,
see now?
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I gotta hear that. I gotta hear
We're
that
yeah,
take.
furthering.
but what I'm getting at is specifically, there's a lot of folks out there who are really defensive, and
Yeah.
I could point to, the Blue Bird and some people who've made some comments on the Blue Bird site where they got lambasted for their comments, and then some people responded with maybe a little bit of a more aggressive phrase than they should have or
Which the
could
bird
have.
people, they
I don't
chirp
want
a
to say
little
should have, but
too, yeah, the bird people chirp a little too high above their weight limit.
they,
So,
they well, it's like, and then there's a lot of people on YouTube as well who've made plenty of like videos regarding Bleach and responses back and
gatekeeping.
forth, and there's a lot of people who call it gatekeeping.
And
I
honestly,
I hope that this is a more welcoming environment because I like people who are
yeah.
like, if you're asking a question, I'm gonna be like, yeah, actually, I would love to answer it, and I'll tell you how it all is. And so I want you to take a look at this right here and just tell me what you think. And then if they're
Literally.
wrong, it's like, okay, you're on the right track, but have you thought about it in this way?
Literally.
It's
Yeah, no,
community,
because that
yo.
actually you helped me with that with even the newest season that we have, just like the way I was processing the lack of the visual representation of the spiritual pressure, and the way that you put it, I'm like, oh no, that makes perfect sense. Like I just was literally thinking of it wrong. So I do think that overall, just from my personal experience, that the Bleach community as a whole is very welcoming, but there is an extremely vocal minority that is aggressive.
Mm.
And personally, I cannot sit here, in my opinion, and say that somebody isn't a real fan because the last time they saw original Bleach was when they watched it live. Like, I'm not going to say you're not a real fan for that. Like, if the last time you saw Bleach was like literally 2006 through until it ended, then like, okay, cool. Like that's perfectly fine with me. But like, to be
Yeah.
a fan of the show and of the manga, I don't think you need to read it every single like year to catch back up on that. You know what I mean? Like I
It's
think it's
not
perfectly
it's
fine.
not the fucking Bible, y'all. Come on.
Literally, exactly. Like it's perfectly fine that like, oh yeah, I finished Bleach back when it first aired, then I got into Thousand Year Blood War, and then that's like just a whole gap of I don't know how many years was in between that you're just like, okay, whatever. On top of me personally, when Bleach first came out, I was how old was I? I was young, bro. I was a child. Like I was
That
what
was
year did it come out? 2006?
that was back in
The
'06.
the
Yeah.
anime, yeah.
Yeah,
The
the
anime
anime,
was in
yeah.
'06.
Yeah.
Way back when, bro.
Shit.
That's the
Yeah,
early
bro. I was like 8. I
2000s,
was like
bro.
8 or 9, bro.
The
You're
boomers are
at
the
the end
ones
of the day,
arguing, bro.
literally, like
Hmm.
you're asking people to like recall things from like their prepubescent childhood and talk about it in a way that's like they just watched it last week. And I obviously think that you do need to be a little bit informed if you are going to be, a content creator consistently on things. Like I do think that's
Wow.
true, but
Yeah.
it just is like if they're everybody's gonna slip up every now and then, bro. Like this,
Mm.
it's you don't remember what happened in episode 63 and minute 10 second 34. Like, you
Right?
know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that shit is
yeah.
crazy, bro.
Bro, it's like that one meme. It's
Eh,
like that one meme. It was like, yo, oh, you think you're a Bleach fan? Okay. Name every Bleach character type shit. It's not even like this.
right.
It's exactly like that.
As someone who's just recently started a reread of the entire manga, and I've gotten up to Thousand Year Blood War at this point, I'm like, my eyes have been reopened
Third
Literally.
eye.
to a
Yeah,
bunch of stuff.
exactly.
Jog and eye. Wait, that's the wrong anime. I can't spoil what kind of person has multiple eyes like that. So let's just say
Ah,
soul
ah,
eye.
ah.
Ah, ah. Okay,
Yep, yep.
just to touch on that real quick. Let me be honest, when it comes to like recalling events, whether you're a fan, you're commenting, or you're a content creator, guys, it's okay. Just like hop in, be a part of the community, just be welcoming with it,
Exactly.
and don't be afraid to voice your opinion. The thing is,
Absolutely.
I would much rather you say, I don't know nothing about, like we've been saying, I don't know nothing about this franchise, but I'm willing to get into it now, or I don't care about the franchise, whatever goofy way you may put it, but this game has had me interested as of late, and now I'm interested in Bleach. I want y'all to teach me. Then I quote unquote I'm going to cap and say I know everything about this. Everything about this is stupid. It's just like, bro,
Right. Yeah.
don't come in here
Yeah.
with that energy. Don't act like you know stuff and then proceed to make a fool out of
Exactly.
yourself and double down later. Because I see that a lot. Just say, bro, I don't know. Because I remember Maximilian Dude did that with Power Rangers, and now he knows everything about Power Rangers because of games like Battle for the Grip. Just be candid with it. We're
Mm.
not gonna shun you because you don't know about it. We're just gonna be like, let me tell you something. Then you can mute all those people and watch the anime for yourself, or wait for the game story mode. You got options now.
Literally.
Damn, it's not even that deep, and we rambling about this. That's how crazy the community has us. We love the community, man. Y'all great.
1000%. Yeah. Like, just like
Absolutely.
N said, I think that the majority of people are like very welcoming and they do want you to experience peak with them. It's just that very aggressive vocal minority group of people. And that's any
hmm
very popular
If
franchise. That's
if
anything.
something is as emotionally charged as it is, it shows a sense of love and
Passion.
appreciation for a work and passion.
Mm,
So that's
yeah.
one reason why it's like I feel like like Bleach is one of those series that for me has just it's always stuck around. It's always been kind of like I was like there were times when I was reading it where it's like I was like I like Bleach and I like saying I'm a fan of it, and then everyone's like, oh man, I can't believe you like why do you like it? It's so boring. And I was like
Ah,
you don't get it. You like I
yeah.
won't try and explain it to you, but I'll just say just give it a shot and think on it, let it percolate and come back to it later. Then that's
Like
been
with
my
any
approach, and
fandom.
I feel like it's the most effective. Is
Yeah.
Bleach is just one of those series that it has enough layers that appear superficial at first glance that click whenever they're meant to click.
Right.
Right. JoJo's is similar, I feel, in that same way as well.
Oh, I love
Yeah, it
JoJo's for the
is. It
memes.
is. JoJo's
Yeah.
crazy.
I love
Like
JoJo
his
for the
like
memes.
Everything's a
bro, the
JoJo's
memes is
reference
what
these
made me
days.
get into JoJo. Literally, like I can't
Same.
remember what part was out, but the memes were just like going crazy. I'm like, bro, what is this? And then
I
I
gotta
start
find
from
out.
part one, I get all the way up to wherever it like it finished
You
with
were
the
like
anime,
Stone
and I'm
Ocean,
like,
yeah.
bro, I'm like, this is the most amazing piece of media I have ever consumed in my entire
Hmm.
life, and everything that I thought I knew was wrong. Like
You
that
can
shit is
tell why.
crazy to me. Like,
You can tell why the fan base is rabid, right?
yes, like I was like, I understand it now. Like that Danny DeVito meme,
I
like I
understand
understand.
now.
Like, so yeah, bro. Like it was crazy to me because I'm just like, I mean, just talking about JoJo. Part four, the introduction and execution of the villain that is Yoshikage Kira, is what made me
Hmm.
go, this is the greatest shit I've ever fucking seen. I don't know what's gonna happen next. I don't know how they're gonna get out of this. I don't know how he's going to get out of it. I don't know anything. Like that shit was man. Mwah, chef's kiss. Like that. I fucking love JoJo's, bro. Like that. We could talk about that for days. For
Yeah,
days, I
let's.
won't get tired.
hmm
Yeah, JoJo's is a whole deep iceberg that I feel like we gotta save the Bleach fans from. Let's not do that. It's like going into an argument for like One Piece or something. It's those deep fandoms that have us shift the whole podcast. This is
I'm
Bleach.
very
Absolutely.
content just sitting on the top of that iceberg. I'm very
Yes.
happy up here. I don't need to
Very
delve
happy.
deep.
The peak
I
of
understand
JoJo.
and I can see down towards the bottom, but I'm like, I don't need to go there. I'm
You
good.
don't need to
I
jump
know
in the
it's there.
water. Do not jump in the water. You'll be
Exactly.
consumed. The bleach iceberg is nice because all it knows is the peak and the pinnacle. I don't know if this iceberg is floating above water. I mean, it's getting a video game years later,
Mhm.
and it's competitive when everybody thought, "Oh, what was it? First time? Did I
It's
say
looking to be competitive. I
it's
want
looking
to
to be
clarify.
competitive?" The first time
It's
I saw it, I
looking
thought
to
it was
be.
gonna be like
The
the
devs want it to
devs.
be competitive as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Suzuki-san keeps saying it. He said in the IGN interview. He apparently a
Mhm.
few people in the comments of Crew Inside said yes, it's gonna be party fun. It's going to be competitive fun. So it felt like he was reaching through the screen and looking at all of us in the community and be like, "It's in your hands now," or it's like the All Might thing. Next, it's your turn. To some extent, I don't know how much of like dev support that this game will have. I don't think it'll have Harada levels. That'll be like a little too deep in it because games of this caliber have not had too much dev support in terms of patches and tournaments. It's all always in the hands of the players, and you don't even see those dudes make
Yeah.
one appearance. It would be nice, But I guess all we got to do, like the way Smashers have done for years, and that's a multi-million franchise by themselves, is just show them.
Yep.
Yep.
That's all we
That's a
got
good
to
way to
do.
put it. It's a good way to put it. Like we just gotta kind of stand up and showcase what you got.
Yeah. They just
Show
got to
what you
make sure
got.
that they
Yep.
put in everything of a standard video game. Because remember, Lee and I, what was it, back in episode 2? Y'all go back and watch episode 2. That's free franchising for us here at the Reishi Radio podcast. Whereas we're mentioning things like if they don't put like the bare minimum of what normal video games have, like a lengthy story mode, not even having a
Yeah.
rematch feature was missing from Jump Force, spectating was
Yeah.
missing from Naruto, a damn what they gonna miss a pause button in the local multiplayer section? Get out of here,
Yeah,
fam.
right, like, stuff like that, yeah, exactly, like, I don't if they launch the game and I feel like there's just too many eyes on this game. Maybe that's because I'm making content on it and then I just need to get out more, but I feel like there's too many eyes on this game for them to even wanna try that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah. At this point, all the fans are now all eyes on this game. I think ever since what the Yoriichi trailer, because that's what every non-Bleach fan is interested in. We got the baddest black woman in anime period, who's also the baddest woman in anime period. That is an immediate flex, because obviously sex sells. It's the whole reason why Zenless Zone Zero has gone as far as they could just be waifus with Hoyoverse. Them niggas horny
Hey
as fuck.
now,
That's
Zenless
another
Sub-Zero
tangent.
has a fun gameplay loop too. It's not
Yeah,
just all
You
from
said
pretty.
Devil May Cry.
it's
I don't know why I'm bragging on this game. I love it. The music is fire, the gameplay, the animations, everything about it, and already Bleach is just giving me the same vibes, which is why we're here. If they put
Mhm.
the energy, these are the titty devs. They know they've been doing this way before Hoyoverse have been doing this. Ass and
Mhm.
titties, hundreds and fifties. They know animation. They know how to make hits feel impactful. They know how to make UI look pretty. They know how to make the sounds make. Do I say eargasms again? Because I feel like I've said that way too much. You get my point.
Ah, I
I
get
haven't
yeah,
said it,
yeah,
but the
we
music is an absolute eargasm. Like
Ah!
there is one complaint I have so far out of the entirety of, or not one complaint, just one that stands out of the entirety of all the videos we've gotten so far, and that is specifically with Urahara. I don't like the way Benihime sounds whenever he throws out the lasers
Yeah,
shots.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
pew,
not
pew,
it's
pew.
not a screech like it is in the anime, which I it's you know it's we're already starting to run. Like I don't know how long you wanted this podcast to run, but it's already starting to get a little long in the tooth. But it's like the whole comparison between anime and game and manga and what's the actual coloration or sound effect or
Mhm.
whatever. It's really interesting to look at, and I love what the anime has done for certain things, and I
Mhm.
Mm.
disagree with what it's done for certain things.
It's the audio
From
discrepancies that they're trying to make it original or something. Something
yeah,
like that.
and the audio discrepancy between Benihime is the one that's standing out to me the most. It's just
Uh,
got this really
Yeah.
nice screech sound that sounds like a squealing note in the
It
anime that
makes
it
it cool,
doesn't.
bro.
It does. It's like a ring, like or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I love the way it sounds in the show. And unfortunately, it doesn't have that in the trailer for Urahara. So maybe that's something that'll change whenever we get a longer gameplay video for him. But I'm not sure.
or
Gotta stay tuned for the soundtrack, move set sound
I need that
DLC
soundtrack
pack.
on vinyl.
them sounds, right?
Absolutely.
We
Yeah, I need that
gotta
music on vinyl.
okay. So we already know we bumping this shit in the car, right? On the radio.
Mhm.
Oh,
We go
absolutely.
band for band for the OST. Everybody's favorite song so far. We're starting with Shark and then we go Lee. Favorite song so
So,
far. Character
favorite
theme.
song so far is it's got to be a tie between Yoroichi and Soifon's theme because they're so
Mhm.
similar, but Soifon's has more of a Chinese flair to it that
Yes.
I really like. But I love the roller skating rink vibe that Yoroichi's has.
The EDM. They had to put the
The
EDM
the
somewhere.
the old I'm talking the 1990s EDM.
Exactly. The early days before everybody like David Guetta and Calvin Harris and Axel and I can't EDM lore gotten too deep.
Where's my
That was
Captain
like prime
Jack?
80s EDM, like that synthwave type shit, but not too much.
Mhm. Mhm.
Lee, best song.
I gotta go with Mayuri's theme, honestly. I like it because it just fits him the most out of anything that I've heard from other characters. And I'm like, this is probably his ringtone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he pops into the Discord chat, this plays, and that's how you know that he's talking to you. Like it just fit him so well, and it caught me off guard too. I was like, oh shit, oh,
It
okay.
was a damn
They
horror
really,
movie theme. It spooked the
yes, bro,
heart.
exactly. I was like, oh shit, I thought Halloween was behind us, but okay.
Yeah, bro. It's not even October. Bro was like bringing Halloween to December. Got me fucked up. That's why I told everybody with his damn alien Romulus ass theme song and the way his bones flail like a skeleton in a damn science classroom whenever he stabs people. Everything about him is so creepy, bro.
Mhm.
But that's my year. What which other one stood out for me? I can't say Yoriichi again, even though that one's funky, and Kisuke's has that same funk, and Soy Fun is the same thing, but with like what?
I was gonna say it's perfectly fine. I think you like we can like the same things.
We
No,
can, but
impossible.
impossible. You have the same opinion as me on the internet. I had to cancel you. I just want to bring I just want to bring light to like more of the other themes that stood out that I would bump on a regular basis. And so far we got all the EDM and the screechy horror themes, but the rock themes because of Ishimoto-san bringing in the Kingdom Hearts World Ends With You and all the other vibes into this music. Bro loves rock. And there are a
Kubo
lot
knows
of
his
rock
music.
themes. He knows. The one that stood out to me as something I would stand on the table and do an air guitar for is Chad's theme. That thing fucking rocks, especially the riff that you hear at the end of the trailer has me head banging. I'm not lying. It starts with the damn, what was it? You know that like choir piano? You know what I mean? That sounds like a damn accordion. The big one with the pipes coming out of it.
You're not talking about the
Organ?
The or damn, it's so
the
simple. There we
bagpipes.
go.
You're not talking about a bagpipe, right?
Not a bagpipe, the piano, the organ piano. How it sounds so
So
evangelistic in the beginning of the
mhm.
song. And then all of a sudden it gets metal and it hits that net, 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 net. I was like, no, stop it, stop it. You can't have a song go this hard for a character who's not supposed to be losing like that, bro. Stop.
Can't
What are you
imagine
talking
Chad
about? I can't
losing.
imagine Chad losing.
Now I'm gonna want more Chad. There we thank you. Now I want more Chad mains in these tournaments just to hear that song. But yeah, for me, it's got to be Sato's theme. It's fire.
Shout out Chad.
Shout out Chad. He never loses, bro. He's like
Yeah.
100-0.
I'm looking forward to some of the stuff we'll see in the anime forum.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, fun podcast all around, boys. That was the yama-MOTO trailer. All our excitement, all the community, all the love, all the strings, all the characters, all the music. Could go on forever. But I think it's best that we round off. And if anybody has anything else that you want to get out the way, now's the time, y'all.
No, I just want to say thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun. Look forward to doing it again sometime.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. On such short notice. Reishi Radio going strong. And if I were to leave it with a quote, because yeah, we have such high expectations for this game when it comes out in 4 months, is remember, y'all, when the game drops, there's no reason why we shouldn't let the devs know what we need or don't need from this game. We gotta voice our opinions in a respectful manner, because there's no reason why we shouldn't ask for the bare minimum in our fighting games. Let's just make this an enjoyable experience when this game drops so that everybody can have fun, everybody can be inclusive in the Bleach community. And I use that term lightly because, well, now it's more peak than ever. Hell, they could even drop Can't Fear Your Own World as a movie, but that's another tangent for another day. Just remember, never feel bad for requesting what should have been present at launch. I'm pretty sure like someone like Big Boy Sage M said that or something. Who cares? But that is Reishi Radio, y'all. Lee and Sherigan, thank you so much for pulling up in this episode. It was fun having you.
Of course, yeah, it's always a good time being on here.
And y'all, the rest of y'all, thank you for watching this podcast as you always do. Thank you for supporting as you always do. And I hope you continue to once I drop this tournament that'll happen a week after launch. Might change it, might not, but we might all have some fun. Hopefully crossplay, and hopefully this game just blows up, man. That's all I gotta say about that. And that's the bottom line, because Jig said so. It's been Jig, Lee, the Warlord, and Sherigan giving you the daily Black Bleach content, even though it was more of an Oreo with our little team here. And yeah, I'm rambling too much with this outro, so whatever. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Peace.
And we're done.